22 years have passed since the beginning of the great age of piracy. Many were inspired by the last words of Roger before he was executed in Logue Town. Most of them decided to become pirates, and went after the legendary treasure called the One Piece. Only a few percentage of these pirate crews survive when they enter the Grand Line, and those who are tough enough made through the harsh seas. Some are even getting closer to the said treasure. Among all the pirate crews chasing after their dream of finding the One Piece, the only pirate group standing at the center of this great age of piracy are the Straw Hat Pirates. This pirate crew started from humble beginnings in East Blue. Luffy, who is the crew's captain, was aiming to find the One Piece treasure like other pirates. In order for him to do that, he must first enter a vast and dangerous sea called the Grand Line. When he left his hometown to chase for his dreams, he started looking for members for his soon-to-be pirate crew. His first successful recruit was a man named Roronoa Zoro. He is a swordsman who is on a mission to find and defeat the man known as Dracula Mihawk. During the first parts of their journey, Zoro did find Mihawk and challenged him to a duel. Unfortunately, Zoro was utterly beaten and almost got killed. Zoro then promised Luffy that he will never lose a battle again until he is strong enough to defeat the Hawkeye. Mihawk was impressed by Zoro's courage and spared Zoro's life to give him a chance to build himself up and become more powerful. The second member of the crew is a girl named Nami. Nami is a young lady who is trying to save her village from the tyranny of a merman pirate crew called the Arlong Pirates. She is doing this by coming up with 100 million berries to buy her village back from the Merman Empire. That is why she steals treasures from pirates to avoid getting criminal charges. At first, she was just collaborating with Luffy and Zoro so she can use their strength to steal more from other pirates. Then she ended up becoming the crew's navigator after Luffy, and the crew took down the Arlong Pirates and ended her 8-year suffering with the Merman Empire. Now that she is a member of the Straw Hats, she is now doing what she really wants, and is currently fulfilling her childhood dream of drawing maps of places she ever goes to. The third person who joined Luffy is a young guy named Usopp. Usopp was introduced as a boy who keeps on playing pirate games along with his 3 loyal followers in his home village of Syrup. He even gained a bad reputation, and was called Usopp the Liar for falsely alarming the villagers about pirates docking on their shores. His ultimate goal is to become a brave warrior of the sea and overcome his fears. He is the son of a pirate named Yasopp, who is a member of the Red Hair Pirates. Usopp joined the Straw Hats after they took down a pirate named Kuro and destroyed his plan of assassinating Usopp's friend named Kaya, who was born and raised by a rich family in the village of Syrup. The addition of Usopp to the crew gave the Straw Hats an official identity by designing their Jolly Roger symbol. They also got their first official pirate ship from Kaya. It's a caravel named the Going Merry. This ship has been carrying them from East Blue to the rough seas of the Grand Line. Usopp has been a real asset to the crew. He may not be as powerful as the monster trio, but his resourcefulness and intelligence helped them defeat powerful foes. He was also man enough to admit that he was wrong when he and Luffy had a huge fight and left the crew temporarily. Usopp has been living his dream while journeying with the crew. He faced his fears, overcame some of them, and is trying to be the bravest warrior of the sea. The next person who joined the crew is a guy named Sanji. He was introduced as a young fellow who works at a sea restaurant called the Baratie. Then it was later revealed that Sanji was from a royal bloodline who ruled the Germa Kingdom of North Blue. Sanji left the Germa Kingdom at a young age because of being mistreated by his family for being the weakest among the Vinsmoke siblings. He was raised by a former pirate named Zeph who taught Sanji everything about cooking. Sanji's ultimate goal is to find the sea where different fishes from all over the world swim. This sea is called the All Blue. Sanji and Zeph shares the same dream, and this is the reason why Zeph wanted to take Sanji in. Sanji met the Straw Hats when the crew randomly docks their ship at Baratie to eat. He then joined them after taking down the Krieg pirates, who has been attempting to steal the sea restaurant and turn it into their pirate ship. Sanji plays a huge role with the Straw Hats, not just with his cooking skills, but also his fighting strength. His presence is already enough to ensure the safety of the crew against powerful enemies, like other pirates and the Marines. Although his strong sense of chivalry can be a pain, Sanji proves that he can be a threat to strong male enemies and is capable of protecting everyone in their crew. This next member of the Straw Hat Pirates is a reindeer named Chopper. Chopper was introduced as a disciple of an old lady named Kureha. She is the only person serving as a doctor for the people in the Kingdom of Drum. Chopper ate the Hito Hito no Mi model human. He is a reindeer who can speak the human language and can transform his body like the human posture. Before joining the Straw Hats, Chopper became Kureha's disciple to study the profession of medicine and become a doctor. This is what he promised to the person who Chopper considers his only friend, Dr. Hiluluk. They share the same dream to find all cures to every single disease in the world. Chopper met the Straw Hats when Luffy and his crew docked in the island of Drum and were trying to save Nami from an illness she caught from Little Garden. Luffy did recruit Chopper to be part of their crew as an emergency food supply, not knowing that Chopper is a doctor, and that is what their crew is trying to find. After the Straw Hats ended the reign of a corrupt king, Chopper decided to set out with Luffy and become a pirate. Chopper became the ship's doctor and has been a huge help for the crew, especially when someone gets injured. He is on a mission to help Luffy fulfill his dreams of becoming the Pirate King and to find the cure to all diseases in the world. The sixth person who joined Luffy is a woman archaeologist named Nico Robin. Robin was introduced as Crocodile's right-hand woman. She was born and raised in an island of scholars called O'Hara, which was burned down and destroyed by the world government. She gained a bounty of 79 million berries at a very young age because of her ability to read poneglyphs. After she escaped death from a Navy attack called the Buster Call, she went hiding from one place to another. Because of her wanted poster, no one is willing to let her in. She even got betrayed by one of the people she works for and turned her in to the government. As she grew older, she keeps on jumping to different pirate crews, syndicate groups, and gangs in order for her to get by and survive. The last criminal organization she joined is a group called Baruch Works, led by Crocodile, who was a part of the 7 warlords of the sea at the time. She met the Straw Hats in Whiskey Peak when the crew were trying to escape from a group of bounty hunters, which were under Baruch Works. After the Straw Hats took down Crocodile and saved the kingdom of Alabasta, Robin snuck into their ship but eventually revealed herself to them and asked Luffy to let her join the crew. Luffy agreed to let Robin join. But some members of the crew like Zoro, Usopp, and Chopper did not approve and was on guard in case Robin betrays them. Robin proved to be a loyal crew member to the Straw Hats. She even sacrificed herself and turned her into a government intelligence group called the CP9 to spare the Straw Hats from being attacked by the world government. The crew thought that she betrayed them at first, but later discovered that Robin offered her life in exchange for the Straw Hats' lives to be spared. Robin up to this day is still being hunted down by the government, but failed multiple times because of the crew's protection. The next guy who joined the crew is a human cyborg named Frankie. Before Frankie became a human weapon, he was an adopted son and an apprentice of Tom. Tom is a renowned shipwright in the large city called Water 7. Frankie worked as an apprentice shipbuilder along with his adopted brother named Iceberg. Both of them learned everything about shipbuilding from Tom. Their joyful life as shipwrights came to an end when the world government executed Tom for building the ship called the Oro Jackson. The construction of this ship was considered to be a huge crime to the government since it was built for the mighty Roger pirates. Frankie really loves to build battleships for his personal enjoyment. But he eventually stopped and swore that he will never build those things again because of what happened to his master. Frankie became a leader of a gang in Water 7, which specializes in bounty hunting and stealing from pirates. He and Iceberg went separate ways since the death of their mentor. Frankie met the Straw Hats when Frankie's men stole 200 million berries from the Straw Hats, which was supposed to be used for repairing the Going Merry from the rough journey it went through in the Grand Line. Frankie started as an enemy to the Straw Hats, but eventually became their ally when the Straw Hat Pirates joined forces with the Frankie family in order for them to save Robin and Frankie, who were about to be executed for possessing knowledge about the ancient weapon called the Pluton. After the Alliance emerged victorious against the government, Frankie's men begged for Luffy to take Frankie as a part of the crew. But Luffy told them that he was already planning to recruit him anyway. Frankie, on the other hand, did not only join the Straw Hats. He also built a ship for the crew since the Going Merry can no longer be fixed. They call this new ship 1,000 Sunny. Frankie couldn't bear the thought of just giving them the ship without a shipwright, so he decided to join them. Frankie has really been a huge asset to the crew. Aside from his carpentry skills, his superhuman strength and resourcefulness in battle helped the Straw Hats in overcoming powerful enemies. Frankie and Luffy may started in the wrong foot, but their friendship and loyalty to each other did last long in the course of time. The next Straw Hat pirate is a skeleton named Brook. Brook was already a pirate before the Straw Hats was founded. He was the vice captain of the Rumbar Pirates, who died in battle at sea. Brook was brought back to life because of his Yomi Yomi no Mi abilities, which allows him to resurrect once he dies. Brook's soul returned to the human world after his death, but it took years for him to find his corpse. He was already a skeleton when Brook's soul has reunited with his original body. When Brook was revived from the dead, he found himself on their pirate ship with all the corpses of his former crewmates. He was all alone, and he has no one to speak to for the past 50 years until the Straw Hats found him. Luffy wanted to recruit him so badly, but Brook declines in the meantime because he has to regain his stolen shadow. Luffy, Zoro, Robin, and Sanji also got their shadows stolen. This shadow stealer is a man named Gecko Moria, who is a member of the 7 Warlords of the Sea. The Straw Hat Pirates, with the help of Brook, took down Gecko Moria. This allowed them to reclaim their shadows, and the shadows of the people Moria stole. Brook then officially became a Straw Hat after he asked Luffy if the offer for him to join still stands. Brook struggled to adjust to the crew at first, but he became used to the crew's company and became a huge asset to the Straw Hats. His musical prowess and swordsmanship helped them get through tough times. Brook's end goal is to meet with Laboon after accompanying Luffy on his road to become Pirate King, which coincides with the promise Luffy had with the huge whale. This is the reason why Brook continues to fight and live for another day. The last and definitely not the least member of the Straw Hat Pirates is a powerful merman named Jimbei. Jimbei was introduced as a member of the 7 Warlords of the Sea and a close ally to the Whitebeard Pirates. He was first shown in Impelled Down, where he was locked in the same prison cell as Fire Fist Ace. Jimbei and Luffy's fateful encounter was when Luffy secretly entered the impenetrable prison to prevent his brother from being executed. Ace was no longer in his cell, but he met Jimbei instead. Luffy then agreed to free Jimbei outside of his prison cell and helped Luffy on his mission to stop Ace from being executed by the Navy. Both Luffy and Jimbei developed mutual respect for each other as they were trying to escape prison and enter the Marine headquarters. Jimbei even made it his personal mission to protect Luffy from powerful enemies at all cost. He was there for Luffy when Luffy was having nightmares about Ace's death and reminded him that his crewmates are still there. 2 years later, the Straw Hat Pirates entered the kingdom of Ryugu where fishmen and mermaids live. They also get to meet Jimbei and thanked him for saving the life of their captain. They even stopped a group of fishmen who was plotting to overthrow the kingdom. The Straw Hats, with the help of Jimbei, took down the rebellion. But Luffy lost a lot of blood during his battle against their leader Hody Jones. The only way Luffy can be saved is through blood transfusion. There were a lot of fishmen and mermaids who got the same blood type as Luffy, but all of them were hesitant to offer help because they are not allowed to give blood to humans according to their kingdom's law. But Jimbei did not hesitate to offer his blood since he is already a wanted criminal and he has no reason to follow that law. After the blood transfusion was performed, Luffy woke up and asked Jimbei to be part of his crew. Jimbei declined the offer because of his responsibilities. He wanted to join the crew at that moment. He just can't do it because of the agreement he had with Big Mom. A few weeks later, Luffy and Jimbei met again in Whole Cake Island when the Straw Hats were trying to stop Sanji from marrying Charlotte Pudding. This was when Jimbei realized that it's now time for him to break the agreement and join the Straw Hats. The Straw Hats successfully escaped Whole Cake Island, but Jimbei did not leave with them. He told Luffy that he can't come with them at the moment because he has to do something important. But he promised the crew that he will go to Wano and join them in their fight against Kaido. Jimbei fulfilled his promise and arrived in Wano just in time for the battle. He became an official member of the Straw Hat Pirates when he showed up to sink the ships of the Beast Pirates and declared his loyalty to Luffy in front of the samurais, Minks, the Heart Pirates, and the Kid Pirates. Jimbei played a huge part in the raid in Onigashima. He took down countless members of the Beast Pirates and defeated one of the Flying Six named Who's Who. His battle strength gives the crew a huge edge over other pirate crews. He is also an excellent helmsman of their ship and a very reliable member of the Straw Hat Pirates. Those were the members of the Straw Hat Pirates. Did I miss someone? Oh, I almost forgot. According to Oda himself, Princess Nefertari Vivi is an official member of the Straw Hat Pirates. It was shown in Alabasta when Vivi asked the crew through her snail transponder if they would still consider her as a comrade. The Straw Hats responded in silence by raising their right arms and showed the X marks on their hands symbolizing that no matter where they go, Vivi will always be their comrade. What about the Grand Fleet? Are they members of the Straw Hat Pirates? Technically, Luffy did not agree to bring the fleet under his command. But the 7 pirate captains insisted on pledging their loyalty to Luffy, thus declaring to have each other's backs in times of trouble. We will be talking about the Straw Hat Grand Fleet in another video in the future. But then again, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.